Hello, and apologies that you can't see and hear this talk, as it's an event commemorating today's centenary of the first planting of memorial trees to Wolverhampton's First World War fallen. And not to forget to say a happy Mother's Day to all you mums. Because of virus concerns, this event will be held later, but be even bigger and better. However, the good news is that 5 new trees have been planted to mark plantings that took place exactly 100 years ago today. Wolverhampton's Mayor, Councillor Claire Dark, Shoba Asapal, who's the Chief Officer at All Saints Action Network, ASAN, and the ASAN Gardening Club planted 5 fruit trees. Here's one of them going in, and they did this earlier just to be safe, and you can see All Saints Church just behind them. These trees, the original trees, were planted by pupils of All Saints, St Joseph and Dudley Road schools, after the schools elected their fellow pupils to plant 30 plane trees in All Saints Road. And as I said, that was exactly a century ago today. These are the existing trees, but we don't know if they're the originals. It would be nice if they were. They were the first in a scheme which was announced by the Wolverhampton Mayor, Councillor Thomas Henn, when he was elected on November the 10th, 1919. And here's Councillor Henn in his mayoral robes, and he said he wanted to plant 1,000 trees, chiefly in Wolverhampton streets, which were drab and dreary monotony. He said it would cost £1,200, which is nearly £61,500 in today's prices, and wanted people of Wolverhampton, pupils, the parents, staff and the public to pay for them. This came after huge war sacrifices. There were lost lives and lifelong disabilities, injuries and illnesses, but people had also dug deep to send comforts to those fighting, to help hospitals, refugees and war charities, and even to pay for weapons. Wolverhampton Tank Week raised more than £1 million, which is about 125 million in today's prices. Then they'd had the 1918-1919 influenza epidemic, which is an echo from the past for us today, and the planting of these trees had actually begun as memorials to the fallen as early as 1914 in Australia. But as the war ended, a movement grew up nationally and internationally. In Britain, the Roads of Remembrance Association was founded the same year the mayor was elected, and trees were being dedicated to Wolverhampton's fallen by 1920. Here's an entry from the logbook of All Saints School, which is fairly short and sweet, and says that on March the 22nd, the children were out of school from 2:15 to 2:45, taking part in the ceremony of planting trees in All Saints Road, in memory of those who made the supreme sacrifice during the Great War. And later plantings were held all round Wolverhampton, and other areas had them as well. In Coseley, its own council had 350 memorial cherry trees planted down the Birmingham New Road, and many were planted nationally and internationally. In fact, they continued well into the 1920s, when Wolverhampton Council seemed to take over responsibility for them. As centenaries of other Wolverhampton plantings arise, we hope to commemorate them, but we certainly aim to do more about the first with the pupils and staff of the Grove School, which absorbed some of the original Planters School, All Saints. Thomas Henn's ancestors, who are still jewellers in Wolverhampton, are also involved. The trees came to light when I was researching the history of Newhampton Arts Centre. I was intrigued by a mention of the trees in the logbook of Wolverhampton Higher Grade School, which was on the site of the Arts Centre before, during and after World War I. It led to my chapter about the memorial trees in this book. Wolverhampton's Great War 1914 to 1921 by the Wolverhampton Society. You can get copies from the Society at wolverhamptonsociety.com or Waterstone's Wolverhampton store. If you're wondering about the pictures behind me, one on the right here is by the Japanese artist Izumi Omori, who's based in Cornwall, where ironically tourists have been advised not to go, and second home owners have been advised to stay away from in view of the present virus emergency. And it's actually called Hope and Believe, which is nice. The other behind me to the left is by Wolverhampton artist Jenny Gregory, and that's called Restoration, which again is hopeful. I bought that at St Jude's Church on Tetnall Road when they held an art show, and actually